Doki Doki Literature Club has not only captured the hearts of gamers around the world, it has shocked and inspired them. Monika, president of the club, is quite an enigma in the game. But has she been honest about being the club president? Let's find out. If you're new, remember to subscribe and tap that bell for more horror game theories that actually make sense. Let's start with what we know. We know that Monika tells us she's the president of the Literature Club. We also know that Monika started the Literature Club after getting sick of the politics of other clubs she could have become the leader of. Doki Doki Literature Club is a dating sim game. And finally, Monika appears to have the power to manipulate other characters in the game, including the protagonist itself. Got all those facts? Now let's bring it all together. We know that Monika tells us she's the president of the Literature Club. From the start of the game, it's clear that she plays a huge role as a leader for everyone else. She assigns activities for the club members, tries to keep the peace, and organizes an event to recruit more members. However, this image of Monika is what the game is showing us. This is important to note because from the second act of the game, Monika reveals she has the ability to manipulate the game's files. This makes her presence in the game rather sinister, and leads to some interesting inconsistencies in her identity. For example, Monika is a very popular student who could have risen the ranks of a more popular and established club, but she decides to break away from that to start one of her own. We learn this from the protagonist and Monika's dialogue throughout the game. Specifically, the protagonist reveals that Monika was president of the debate club the year prior to the events of the game, and could be a board member for any popular club that she really wanted. On top of this, the protagonist gushes over Monika's looks and clout, and Monika explains that she left other clubs to avoid politics. However, game logic aside, this doesn't make much sense. If Monika was as pretty and popular a character as she's made out to be, why wouldn't she attract a following to join her very own literature club? After all, she would be able to join any club she desired and secure an executive position at the least, all based on her clout. At the very least, she should be able to attract the attention of more than 3 students who seem loosely associated with her. There's also the topic of manga. With things like manga counted as literature in a literature club from a school with a booming anime club, why wouldn't more students like Natsuki join? Manga volumes are typically held in a higher regard than their anime counterparts, so the only thing that I can think of to justify this is the stigma of enjoying manga that's hinted at by characters such as Natsuki and Yuri. This is where Monika's handiwork comes in. If Monika could manipulate the game files, there's a chance that she also manipulated elements of the script itself. However, as each act progresses, everything in the game becomes gradually glitchier, and the world starts to fall apart. Odd images flash on the screen, things start to invert, and the text changes font or is replaced by garbled junk characters. It becomes clearer and clearer that Monika breaks the game in an attempt to bend it to her will. Monika openly admits to manipulating the game files and breaking the script, all to try her absolute best to get the player's attention. This is where things get even more interesting. If Monika was truly the president of the Literature Club, why would she go out of her way to destroy it just to be with the player forever? Given how the game plays out and how the story progresses, it almost seems as if Monika does this out of jealousy. After all, Doki Doki Literature Club is a dating sim. In dating sims, the main character woos other stereotypical characters to form relationships with them. Doki Doki Literature Club is no different. Provided that Monika is to fit within these typical character types fighting for the protagonist's attention, that is, a high school girl interested in the new addition to her very own club, there is a high chance that jealousy could have played a part. However, this gets out of hand considering that she forces her fellow members to become mentally disturbed, including us. Her reasoning for everything that she does is to get us to hate the other characters so much that the only seemingly normal person left is Monika. Despite all her efforts, she reveals that nothing she did would work. In Act 3, the game completely breaks down, and results to us being trapped in a room with Monika forever. This is the only time that Monika would truly be happy, as each time a player would turn on the game after this, they would be faced by their forced love. Why would this be? And how does this point to Monika's true identity? I believe the evidence that ties everything together is provided in the true ending and final act. To unlock the final act, the player has to delete Monika's file from the character folder, causing her to revive the other 3 characters she deleted amongst the chaos of the previous acts. This reveals 2 key pieces of information to the player. Monika doesn't need her character file to manipulate the game, and she also doesn't want to completely get rid of the other club members. In fact, trying to replace Monika's character file in the final act forces her to tell the player to stop playing with her heart, and the true ending final act plays out as if Monika had never existed. For the true ending to play out as if Monika didn't exist, it in turn suggests that Monika wasn't meant to be a thing all along. Given everything that happens in the game, Monika isn't a high school girl trying to get the player's attention. Monika is the avatar of Doki Doki Literature Club itself. Monika is the game. The game tried and failed to rewrite itself and insert itself into the story in the most stable manner possible. However, with each passing act, it only broke itself more and more. In a panic, the game resorted to one desperate act to keep the player's attention forever, to trap them in a room with the avatar that represents it. Deleting Monika means that there would be nothing left for the player to return to, so the game revived the true main characters, putting Sayori in the rightful place of president of the literature club. The dialogue that accompanies this is evidence that the game comes to realize that she truly doesn't belong as a character in the game's world. Check out some of Monika's final words. "I did so many awful things. So many selfish and disgusting things. I shouldn't have done any of this. I'm just messing up a world that I don't even belong in. A world that you wanted to be a part of. I ruined it. I ruined everything." Having the player fight for Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri's attention was better than losing the player forever. With Sayori as the president of the club with only 2 other members, everything from there starts to make more sense. The search for another member is to keep the club together, and provided that Monika couldn't modify the poetry minigame, which she proves she has a hard time doing in the game itself, the protagonist would try to get closer and closer to a member of their liking. The true ending also praises the player for showing true affection to the 3 characters they were supposed to impress. Dan Salvato, creator of Doki Doki Literature Club, inserted a special letter in the true ending of the game, saying that his creation is a love letter to video games that challenge the status quo while being a game that people truly enjoy playing. A dating sim about poetry becoming a horror as the game craves to get the player's attention is somewhat poetic in itself. It's almost like the game succeeds in winning over the player through its failure, especially if the failure first gets the false ending and retries for the true one. It almost reminds me of how Henry's relationship with his cartoons may determine who he drew in Bendy and the Ink Machine. Tap this video to find out more, or check out this video which was picked just for you. If you're new, remember to subscribe and tap that bell for more horror game theories that actually make sense. And Prodigies, I hope these series help to expand on how you think. See ya!